Alrighty, so, ready? My name is Mr. 2020. Welcome to the Neville Goddard podcast, coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia. It is 7:11 in the morning. I think it used to be 6:11 in the morning, but we had the time change, and yes, I'm still getting up at our 4:30 to 5 o'clock today, right? Somewhere in there. But here's what I want to dive in. I want to dive in fast, because all this takes is a little bit of attitude and a whole lot of play. Write this down, let it cook your noodle, let it change your life. This just takes a little bit of attitude and a whole lot of play. Alright, that's it. Welcome. Thank you for listening to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard podcast. Okay, let's go a little deeper. Have you noticed what I left out? I left out a 4-letter word, and yes, I use them a lot, especially like on the live calls, sometimes in emails, definitely on the shows. And some people don't like that, because I'm blunt and sharp at the same time. And here's what I find, you've got to be blunt and sharp at the same time. You need to be able to say no, so you can actually say yes. And we live in a world where everyone's okay. Right? It's okay, I'm alright, it's okay. We're all okay. All paths lead to the same place. No, they don't. I'm sorry, but what planet are some people waking up on? All paths lead to the truth. All paths lead to the same place. Some paths just suck the life out of your dreams. And when you blame someone else for your frustration, when you blame someone else for how you are feeling about what's happening in your life, you're basically saying, hey, how about if you create my state? By the way, I've taken the tapping courses, right? I've done hypnosis. I've used to make subliminals. I've given up a lot of dumb shit over the years. Because the more you give up the dumb shit, the more you get to discover who you are and how this works. Remember, a scene is how you experience what you experience. A state is how you experience what you experience. Think about this. This isn't about making movies to make something happen. You may experience something visually, like when Neville says, it's not about making a movie, about climbing a ladder, seeing your body climbing a ladder. It's about feeling yourself actually climbing it. You may or may not see your hands. You'll probably hear the rickety ladder as you push. You see, it's imaginal experience leads physical experience. You ever get the phone call and you look at the phone and you go, ugh. And then you answer the phone. That's the second dumb mistake. And you get more, ugh. Right? Not a fan. You see, I started imagining lovely phone calls with my mom. It wasn't always like that. For many years, it was quite the opposite. But I started imagining lovely phone calls with my mom. And for some reason, I ended up buying her an iPad. She said, I'm either going to get the sink fixed in the kitchen or buy a computer. And I said, what kind of computer? And she said, a Chromebook. And I said, let me buy you an iPad. You fix the sink. And we have these lovely little chats going back and forth now. We even do FaceTime. It's a lot of fun. But I appear to digress, but I never do. Because here's the thing, guys. You need a little bit of play. Or is it a lot of play? You need a little bit of attitude and a whole lot of play. But notice what I've left out. Work. I don't work at this. I don't think you need another job. I'm not a fan of working overtime to make something happen. And that's how a lot of people approach manifesting. They approach it as working overtime. So they don't do it. See, we put out a really cool little pack. It's Joseph Goddard to the max. You can get that at NevilleGoddardStore.com. But here's the gist of the whole Joseph Goddard thing. Ready? You're already imagining something as you start waking up in the morning. The first thing that happens is you discover you have a body. Wow. And most people go, shit, I am a body. Yeah, they fall for it. And then it's like, right, since I am a body and I've got a history, and what did I do yesterday? We call that leftovers. What was yesterday like? Oh. And then they start imagining today is based on yesterday. And so they have more of the same of yesterday. In Dream Driven Day, we explore different is better than better. For some reason, I'm a massive fan of exploring and letting your days become very different than most people's. A lot of people work at making things better. Rightio. Not a fan. Even though I love some four-letter words, work is not one of them. So, a little bit of attitude. A whole lot of play. And you'll notice I'm leaving out work. And I'm also leaving out those things that people say will help them. Right? What's a helper? Work. Right? Well, if the Imagine-Lac doesn't work, I'll add in subliminals. Well, if the Imagine-Lac doesn't work, I'll add in affirmations. I'll use denials. Let's just cancel all that. Right? Let's just imagine up something where you actually get, whenever I experience Victoria's yum, it's not because she's doing an affirmation. It's because she's doing an exclamation. An honest-to-God spontaneous, oh. My experience of her res geste, that's Latin for spontaneous utterance. You see, often when you do have a shift or a win, there is a spontaneous yes or something like that. But you don't walk around going, I am yes, I am yes, I am yes. Rightio. Meanwhile, I had a cool little win last night. Talk about foundations. I was in a frustrating situation trying to help a guy honor his request. You see, I thought it already was honored. But anyway, there was a computer glitch. And then there was something on his part and something on my part. And it's like, I don't know what to do here. So I just sat for about 15 seconds and I imagined him happy, me happy, he's happy, I'm happy, right? It sounds a little loopy, but it doesn't take long. So what would I experience? All right. What it's like to really make a new friend. To get to know someone a little better. And when you know, he writes back, he says, hey, how about if we do this? God, it just made my life a lot easier. Because I would have spent probably 20, 30 minutes on dumb shit trying to figure something out. Right? And he gave me the gift of time. And I so appreciate that. You see, that to me is lovely. Now watch this. You know what's lovely? Whenever you have a little bit of attitude, that allows you to experience a whole lot of play. You see, I've got a super secret agenda. More playtime, more playmates. I'm not a fan of co-workers. I'm not a fan of work. I'm a fan of a little bit of attitude and a whole lot of play. I'm also a massive fan of just people noticing, you know what? I'm trying to make my manifesting work better with stuff that don't matter. You see, I like purple candles and purple undies just as much as the next guy. Doesn't mean either one of them helps my manifesting. It just means that I enjoy them both like I enjoy a good cigar. You know, the feel-good centers of the brain, I used to know what they were in Latin. I manifested that answer. A guy sends me his book that has that in it. And it's like, rightio. You see, there's things that make you feel good, like The Simpsons, like chanting, like singing. But none of that manifests anything. Singing is something you manifest. See, I imagine singing more. I manifested up a singing coach, a voice coach. And now, I've got me under my skin. I am not a body. I am what gives life to it. If you got gold today, NevilleGoddardStore.com. You're going to see a whole bunch of our goodies up there. You know, our best sellers, the ones that people love the most are there. There's a couple stragglers I haven't got up there yet. Some of it just takes a little time, and I'm fierce with time. And to my friend Terry that gave me some time back, thank you. I really appreciate that. Meanwhile, if you got gold, by the way, Joseph Goddard to the max at NevilleGoddardStore.com. If you don't own your morning, if you're not investing those morning minutes, you're spending them. I'm a massive fan of always be investing. That's what I got. Have a great day. See ya.